Today I'm going to do something different. Yes, I have a My Little Pony OC. Deal with it. Because this is what I'm going to use for reviews. Anyway, let's get started with Sins of the Wreckers. The main story is written by Nick Roche. The story starts with the visuals of a snowstorm and RC narrating, with a visual of Cup drifting lifelessly in space. RC talks about finding Prowl and setting him straight. In the first couple panels, we can see RC and Cup talking about Prowl, and then arguing. Of course, this raises RC's suspicions that Cup knows something. Then the next panels show a cyber-training spacecraft known as the Debris, where Guzzle is locked away for killing a Decepticon, and Impactor is basically his babysitter. Roadbuster is basically the one who takes charge of them both, being the clear head and voice of reason to keep Impactor in check. And he tells an unconscious Springer stories about the past, while he helps Impactor stay calm and keep a level head, while Guzzle is throwing his tantrums. Then we see RC and Cup searching through data files to see if they can find something on Prowl. It's here that Cup starts to get on RC's chassis for asking questions. They find a video file where we meet our main human, Variety Carlo, who has the impression that animals are after her. As Cup explains who this character is, she drudges through snow trying to escape some kind of animal. Next we see Cup and RC arguing once again, this time the fact that Variety is just a child with incredibly sensitive Cybertronian criminal records. Then they see a pre-recorded hologram message from Prowl. Prowl says that his disappearance was no mistake, as he was deemed a security risk. Therefore, he was forcibly removed from service. He tells whoever finds the message to find the wrecker named Springer, much to RC's dismay. Once again, Cup and RC argue, but this goes wrong for Cup. As he tries to send out an SOS, RC knocks him out and leaves him quite literally in the dark. Next we find Prowl, who wakes up in a strange place. While missing an eye, he stumbles to where he can see light, and he lets out a frustrated yell. Then we meet a mysterious figure, but he's a mystery. We go back to Variety Carlo, who's stuck in a terrible snowstorm, being attacked by a polar bear. An Autobot named Stakeout comes and saves her by beating up the endangered animal. It's then here where Stakeout takes Variety on a ride where they have a talk, and Miss Carlo apparently blackmailed Prowl. Stakeout and Variety have a talk and drive, when suddenly Stakeout is caught in an explosion. He isn't hurt, but he doesn't respond, leaving Variety to crawl out of his window. Then she's faced with a very angry RC. It's clear that RC shot Stakeout, as hinted from the smoke from her gun. Cup woke up from his knockout nap and is giving a pep talk to Springer over radio chatter. Though Springer can't respond, and being the soldier that he is, he orders Springer to wake up from his coma. We next see that Roadbuster and Impactor are at a graveyard, and it seems like they're planning on faking Impactor's death. When a bot who has a stutter named Hubcap comes and tries to tell Impactor and Roadbuster that something's up, they think he's a fan because of the stutter, when Hubcap finally tells them, being overly nervous in the process. The alarms sound and they think it's Guzzle. Then Roadbuster realizes it's Springer's life support. Hubcap advises Impactor to go with them and to let Roadbuster down gently. But when they open the door, Springer is gone. We find RC and Variety in an old shipyard, where RC is questioning the little girl. They have a dispute, and obviously RC bluffs about destroying the only copy of the Cybertronian criminal records. Our final panel of this comic shows Springer and the other wreckers in the snow, ready for combat, presumably to protect Variety and the criminal records. And that concludes the main story. The art drawn by Nick Roche and colored by Josh Bertram is something you would expect from either a Marvel or DC comic, yet this art style perfectly conveys to the story told. The dark visuals and the lighting and the action sequences even just a general talk. Granted, I personally wouldn't have chosen RC's G1 design for the personality and tone of speech given in this comic. RC's personality and tone of speech in the comic makes her feel more like the RC we saw in Transformers Prime, the cold, silent RC who wouldn't always speak her mind if something was wrong, and not wanting to get others involved in her issues, such as any encounters with Arachnid from the cartoon. Now take that with not wanting to get anyone involved with the hunt for Prowl. Whereas Cup's character completely changed from G1. Cup was like this old war veteran grandpa. What made this clear is the fact that the Dinobots always pestered him for stories. Here, he isn't a grandpa, but rather an old soldier who refuses to retire. Variety is much more different from any other human character we've seen thus far. Instead of being happy and cheerful, such as with Spike and his family in G1, Sorry from Animated, even Jack Darby from Transformers Prime, she's more hostile and closed off. Granted, she believes that animals are out to get her, but that's besides the point. And that's about it for my comic book review. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to follow me on X, aka Twitter, Instagram, until all are one.